Great Spectre Boxing here with another video. As always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification. That way you can stay updated on the latest content that I add to the channel. First off, I want to give my condolences to Nipsey Hussle and his family, his queen, his children, you know, and everybody who's been supporting him. You know, keep supporting him, man. That does go to his family's children. You can continue to buy his music, support any projects that he have, or anything like that, that will go to, you know, his family. So, whereas you guys know, he was fatally shot yesterday. I say fatally shot, but I also say cowardly shot in front of his store yesterday out in Crenshaw, in Los Angeles, California. And I thought it was a cowardly move, man. No matter who did it, unarmed man, they're running this business and you go and shoot them. Man, it's some cowards out here in this world. But in any case, man, I only caught on to Nipsey's music in the last 2 years. Been knowing the music from Nipsey, but it wasn't really mainstream. So I really had never really dove into his music. I really just kind of caught on to it in the last 2 years. Started kind of listening to some of his old mixtapes and then some of his new music that he was putting out. And I really was appreciating some of the work that he done. But you know, it's just tragic to see a young man just starting to flourish in his career get gunned down. You know, and that's just tragic for anybody to get gunned down. But for somebody who really had an impact on the culture, and when I say culture, I mean colored people. The youth of this nation, you know, and people who, I don't mean just when I say colored people, I don't just mean black. I mean black, Hispanic, Asian, man, anybody of color. You know, we all been discriminated against, and just it's been one thing after another of poverty and, you know, look down, racism, just all kind of stuff, man. So this was a guy who was opening eyes to a lot of different issues in the community between us. And I really liked what the guy was doing and how he supported the youth and his own people out there in LA. You know, he was an ambassador for that city. So shout out to Nipsey Hussle, man, with May he rest in peace. All right, let's get to the video at hand, man. Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia had a fight with Errol Spence Jr over 2 weeks ago. That fight didn't go the way Mikey thought it was going to go. He thought he was going to be able to outskill, outthink Errol Spence Jr. It turned out to be a one-sided, lopsided victory for Errol Spence. A loss for Mikey Garcia. He, after the fight, kind of disappeared. I hadn't seen from Mikey in a while, and it was understandably so. I told y'all guys before the video that if Mikey was to go 12 rounds, or, you know, not if Mikey was going to go 12 rounds, I never thought he was going 12. But I was saying I was fearing for the health of Mikey Garcia. I thought he was going to get hurt. And as we seen during the fight, he tried his first few rounds. He tried to find spots in which he can fight, box, and try to win the battle. But midway, not even midway through, I think in the first, you know, quarter of the fight, he realized this guy he wasn't going to win. It was a one-sided fight. And he started shelling up. And he didn't have the reach to fight with Errol Spence on the outside. He didn't have the ability and skill sets and the footwork that we thought he had to maneuver his way on the inside and fight with Errol Spence. He didn't have the power to command respect from Errol Spence, and that power diminished as the rounds went on and he kept taking more and more damage. And he blocked very well. He was very defensive in survival mode, as I said before. But he took a lot of shots to the body, man. And I even heard Robert Garcia mention that he said at one point he was hurt to the body. That he was hurt to the body, but he was okay. It was nothing that was, he wasn't getting hit to the head to where he was out on his feet or anything like that. So he wanted to finish the fight. He wanted to keep going. Even when Robert Garcia wanted to stop it after the 9th round, he continued to, you know, want to fight back. He showed, you know, that he wanted to be in the fight when he came out swinging in the 10th round, and he survived the rest of the way. But in that survival, he was getting punished. as Errol Spence Jr promised him he was going to punish him. He was getting punished. And after that fight, right, he disappeared. And I told y'all, man, I pray for Mikey, man. And Mikey disappeared for about 2 weeks. In that time, I hadn't seen Mikey until just a few days ago. I seen him at the Dodgers game. And I told you guys, man, Mikey was in danger, man, that he could seriously get injured or hurt. And I believe that's what happened. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that this guy had to recover the last 2 weeks. There's no way he was out partying. There's no way that he was out celebrating, you know, all the money he made and the, you know, the effort that he gave during the fight. That goes out the window when you have to be licking your wounds. Like, this guy was punished. He was hurt. And their corner even admitted he was hurt to the body. Like, he actually was hurt to the body. So we don't know if that was a cracked rib, fractured rib, or what kind of injury, serious injury that they're not gonna disclose to the media and the fans. But the writing's on the wall. A guy disappears for 2 weeks after a fight. Disappears. I mean, like, no functions, no nothing. He was hurt, man. The guy was hurt. And shout out to Mikey, man. Like I say, I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a pound-for-pound fighter. And I think people are discrediting his skill set because of the dominant performance that Errol Spence displayed and saying he didn't even belong up there at 147. Well, at 147, I think he gives other people problems. I'm not saying he wins. I'm not saying he could be a unified champion. I'm not even saying he could be a champion at 147. But I'm saying I believe that he has the skill sets to give other people problems. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was to beat one of the other top 3 champions. So, but to stick around at 147 for Mikey, I don't think that's the wisest idea, because why would you be sticking around to win a championship when you can't beat the guy who's dominating the division? It just doesn't make sense to me. I believe he should be down at 140 or below, preferably at 135, because he can still make that weight. If he outgrows that, then 140 should be the weight that he settles in and retires in at 140. It's a lot of fights that he can make there. He could possibly unify at 140. And he also can possibly, give a lot of the other upcoming champions a run for their money at 140. So that's where I see Mikey's career going. But I still think he's pound for pound top 10. Not without a doubt. I don't think a loss diminishes that. I think because of the competition that he had, which was another top 10 opponent, you cannot drop him too far, because the guy still is a skilled fighter. He just was outclassed and very much outsized. That's not his weight class. But I don't think that is an excuse, because he has transcended other weight classes well. I believe that this guy is just the more dominant, which was Errol Spence, was the more dominant, more skilled, and favored to win for a reason. And I gave it to him because of the eye test of what I've seen so far in his career. From Mikey so far in his career, I feel that Mikey has edged out victory versus Errol Spence. He has destroyed all competition. And I mean all competition. Nobody has been close. Which was competitive for the first few rounds, and after that, it was no longer competitive, and it was a one-side lopsided victory and TKO victory for Errol Spence. So that notion that Mikey Garcia isn't that good, man, I scratch that, man. It just wasn't the fight that he was going to be able to win. And I said this before, that he could possibly get hurt. And I just hope that this isn't something that's detrimental to his career, because I believe that Mikey is a really good guy. Not only is he a really good guy, he deserved the payday that he got, but he's also a good champion. I believe that if he could settle on the division, I think that's been the knock and downfall of Mikey. He hasn't settled on the division. He hasn't really been willing to stay in a division long enough to really unify. He went up to 140 and came back down to unify with Robert Easter Jr. because he keeps continuing to ascend to different weight classes and knock off guys who I feel aren't as good of champions. So as he challenges himself, I think he should have challenged himself more so in the lower weight classes before he jumped up to 147 and challenged himself versus the king of that division, or the emerging king of that division, Errol Spence. And I think he should have probably unified at 135 and tested himself, win those fights against the tough competition at 135, against the tough competition at, well, really wasn't any with Terrence Crawford vacating at 140, but against some competition at 140, and gradually move your way up and challenge those guys at 147. I think the ring experience, I think the fighting more bigger, tougher, skilled guys, and if he was victorious during those fights, would have went a lot longer way to helping him be competitive in a fight versus those 147 pounders. All right, so that's all I got for you about Mikey Garcia. What do you guys think is next for Mikey Garcia, man? He's reemerged. He's back on the scene, and he says he wants to stay at 147. I believe his division is 135 to 140 max. I believe he'd be competitive at 147, but I don't think he's a 147 champ nor a unified champ. As long as Errol Spence is there, there's no reason for him to even be in that division, being that he cannot beat that guy. He was dominated so convincingly that it didn't even look like he belonged near the division. So if he can compete at 135, 140, I think that's where he should be. I don't think he should be just up there making paydays at 147 because they're a little bit more name recognizable by the the casual fans, and that could get him paydays. I believe he should be at 135 where the tough competition is and work his way back up towards a 140. And if he wants to test, 147 again at some point, maybe he should wait a few years when Errol Spence is no longer in 147 and then give that a shot. That's all I have. What you guys think about Mikey Garcia, where he should go from here, and how you think he fared over the last few weeks while he was missing? Do you think that he was injured, or do you think he was just taking a break, maybe vacation? I don't know, but no one really knows. Probably his camp, the guys who are around him. But I feel like he was possibly injured, and I just hope that it wasn't something severe that's detrimental to his career. That's Dre Spector. That's all I got for you for now. I'm out.